ProtoFoxy here, coming back at you with another video. We're going back to 2015. I have been on a Robots in Disguise 2015 RID 15 kick lately, and that was actually inspired by another YouTube channel by the name of Toy Spotlight, and there's another review that's coming up that sparked me getting into all of this. And yeah, tracking down figures I missed in that line, and I'm actually going to have, I don't know if I'll put it up first or if I'll put it up after the reviews, but I'm also going to do something a little new for the channel where I'm going to do my top 5 favorite figures from that line, and I'm going to do that with different lines going forward. It's just going to be something I've been wanting to do, and I'm going to do it. Anywho, this is RID 2015 Fracture, Warrior Class Fracture. Didn't come in the package because I got it off of eBay. So this is what it got sent to me in. A granola box. So we have its packaging that it came in to me. That's it for the packaging. Let's get a look at Fracture. And this is one of my favorite characters from the show. The fact that he was voiced by Kevin Pollak, for one. He was a bounty hunter, for two. And the fact that he is a badass Cybertronian chopper. That just looks super, super cool. I'm going to gush over this for the next 10 minutes because I am super happy I got this. I got this for a really good price off of eBay, which, you know, this one and another one that I will be reviewing and talking about were relatively difficult to come by at retail in 2015. Very difficult to come by, as a matter of fact, and their secondary was was commanding premium price online, whether it be on eBay or whatever, but I was able to come across them both. The other one I won't mention because I don't want to give away anything, but yeah, got them both, and super happy about that. And I just, for whatever reason, I'm a motorcycle guy, so anytime a motorcycle transformer comes out, I'm gonna get it. But the fact that Kevin Pollak voiced him, the fact that he was just this cool bounty hunter, he was just really cool. I love the character. Anywho, let's get in some vehicle comparisons, and we're gonna stick with the RID 15 theme with Arctic Camo or Arctic Assault Optimus Prime, which another recent acquisition. This one and another one, which I'll be talking about too, was given to me by my son, which God love him that he parted with them, but he's helping fuel the RID 15 kick, and you can see they look pretty good together. Obviously not in scale because Optimus Prime is a gigantic semi-truck and Fracture is a motorcycle. But we'll go for another quick little comparison. This is the one-step changer Fracture, which was my stand-in for years in my collection for him, now that I have the Warrior class. But that also is a very good approximation of the figure itself. And for a one-step changer, it wasn't bad. He was near Warrior class height anyway, so it fit, but it was time to upgrade. And I will definitely transform him to compare robot modes and stuff like that too. So, speaking of which, as I'm gushing, and get some more close-up look on the detail, and I do love this. His accessory here, his weapon folds down to become the exhaust. Okay. Becomes the exhaust pipe, which is definitely awesome, but just love that detailing. And his transformation, much like all of the other Warrior class figures in RID 15, were definitely more simplified, but not any less enjoyable. So we'll get into that. And first, we'll take that off of there, and then we'll fold that into his long-range weapon there. And he can hold it one of two different ways. And we'll get into that in robot mode. So what we're going to do, go ahead and spin that around. We're going to go ahead and just kind of quickly go through all of this, if I remember how to lift that up. The legs should come down. There we go. But yeah, these are definitely a lot easier to transform than any of the current stuff, the Studio Series and Generation stuff, anything like that. And that's part of the joy for me that was Robots in Disguise 2015, because they were just so much fun to flip back and forth around. They didn't sacrifice articulation or anything like that. And then, of course, I had that turned wrong. So you want to spin around that way because you got a tab, slot, boom, that's tabs into place. And you see how quick, how seamless, how effortless that transformation was. And boom, we've got... Now, let me separate the legs here without breaking anything, which would make me sad because I just got this figure. Boom. We have Fracture in robot mode, and that is pretty dead nuts to his animation model in the show. And it looks good. We'll get close-ups on it. Anyone who's still maybe playing the mobile game, I actually think it is active still. Anyone playing the mobile game in 2024, you want to scan the badge there, go ahead. Because I do believe it is actually still active. I have to check my old tablet, but I think you can still play it. But anyway, articulation, pretty standard for the era, you know, rotating, you know, biceps, boom, boom, no wrist, no waist, ball jointed hips. He's got mushroom pegs for the legs. Deep knee bend due to transformation. His feet can move and do all that stuff. The head just rotates, no ball joint. Can't get past the chest spikes, but that's all you need. Boom, there he is. Fracture is awesome. And with his accessory, he can either hold it like the gun, which is how I'll have him hold it, or he can also hold it this way like he's just carrying it around, which I think he did on the show quite often, if I remember correctly. Because I have been going back and watching the show as we witnessed me popping his hand off due to friction. Because I enjoyed the show as a follow-up to Transformers Prime, because Transformers Prime was amazing, and anybody who's out there right now jumping into the rapidly quieting discourse about how people want to normalize on social media admitting that Prime wasn't good, they're wrong. Prime was amazing. It has awards to prove it. And our RID 15, while more lighthearted, more episodic, this and that, still was pretty good. It was probably the best way you could follow up a series like Prime. But anyway, I'm going on about the show, and shouldn't be, because I'm talking about toys. And this, we're going to go ahead and spin Fracture around one more time before we get in some robot mode comparisons. We'll get him in with Warrior Class Optimus Prime. And another thing I really liked about RID 15 was that they did normalize all the main cast characters in Warrior Class. I mean, sure, you know, scale was definitely thrown out of the window in that instance, but it made getting the main cast and all your favorite characters very easy to come by. And let's not pop his head down there. Let's get him out of the way. We'll get him and compare him with his one-step changer, which, you know, one-step changers are one-step changers, but this one was actually a real well-done one. Unique transformation. He's nearly as tall as the Warrior Class figure himself, so he stood in for years, and I just liked the character. Had to have a representation because I couldn't find the Warrior Class, but now I have the Warrior Class. I am happy. It works. Fracture's awesome. The thing is again, not available at retail. Would I recommend you getting the figure? Yeah, if you can score him at a decent price. I know some of the secondary prices on this guy are high. I would definitely not pay, let's say, more than 20 or 30 in package, but I've seen them go higher. But I got this guy loose at a really, really decent price. So let's stick with that. Any higher than $30 or so, I would maybe pass on. If RID 15 is your thing, which RID 15, much like Transformers in general, because I love Transformers. Obviously, I talk about Transformers all the time on the show here on the channel. So yeah, Transformers are my thing. And RID 15 was good. It took me a bit to warm up to it because, of course, coming out of Prime, and I enjoyed Prime so much. But now, going back in subsequent rewatches, I realize that was the only way you could follow up a show like Prime was with RID 15, and it worked. It worked as a sequel series. It had some great characters, and it was fun, and he was fun. And Kevin Pollak voiced the hell out of this guy. I loved it. I loved it. I loved Fracture. Had to get him. So yeah, I recommend. Just don't go crazy on what you spend on the guy. All that being said, if you liked it, give it a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will leave you all with this. Be kind to yourself and your fellow human beings, because life is too short, so play on, and I will see you in the next video. try and get this guy if you can, affordably.